Now we are going to demonstrate matrix multiplication on a larger scale. Last time we did it with just vectors. Now we'll use larger matrices. So let's review. Last time we talked about how you can multiply matrices. Given a 3 by 2 matrix, you can multiply that with a 2 by 4 matrix because these inner numbers, these 2's, are identical. So your resulting matrix is going to be the outer numbers and give you a 3 by 4 matrix. Now let's say you wanted to switch the order and do the 2 by 4 matrix pre-multiplied by this 3 by 2 matrix. Can you multiply them together? No, you can't, because these numbers are not equal. Once again, if you remember the commutative law, which holds that A times B equals B times A. That typically works in basic algebra, but it does not work in matrix algebra, unfortunately. So let's do an example here. Let's get a C matrix from A times B matrix, and let's use the A that we've previously used, 3, 1, 6, 2, 4, 2, and multiply that by a 2 by 4 matrix, B, 2, 0, negative 1, 7, 9, negative 3, 5, and 5. Okay, so once again, this 3 by 2 matrix times this 2 by 4 matrix should give us a 3 by 4 matrix. And I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. I'll use colors, hopefully you can see. What you do is you take this first row of the first matrix, 3 and 2, you take those numbers, and we're going to get the sums of products with this first column of the second matrix. So how to do this, you take your first number, 3, and you multiply that by the first number in the first column of the second matrix. So 3 by 2. And you are going to add that with the second number in the first row times the second number in the first column, so 2 times 9. Okay. Then you do the second row, the same thing. You take your 1 and you multiply that by the first number, 2. You're going to add that with the product of the second number times the second number in the first column, 9. So 4 times 9. Okay, then do that same thing for the last row here. 6 times 2 plus your second number, 2 times the second number, 9. Then we're going to use blue for the second column. It's essentially the same idea. You take your first number, 3, and multiply that by the first number here, which is 0, and add that to the product of the second number, 2, times the second number over here, negative 3. And do that for each row. 6 times 0 plus 2 times negative 3. Let's use red for the third column. Same thing, take your 3 and multiply that by the first number, negative 1, and add that to the second number, 2, times your second number in this third column, which is 5. And do that for each row. And we'll use black for the last column here. 3 times, that's right, 7 plus 2 times 5. 1 times 7 plus 4 times 5. 6 times 7 plus 2 times 5. Okay, looks like a lot. We're going to simplify that, but before continuing, you can actually make sure you did this right by taking your first row here, 3 and 2, and make sure 3 and a 2 is the pre-multiplier in each column. So you'll have your 3 and your 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 2. and make sure that it's the same for your next row. 1 and 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, then 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2. So they're all in the right place there. Also take your column here, the first column, 2 and 9, and make sure that in your first column of your matrix C, as the post multiplier, you have 2 going all the way down and 9 all the way down. Make sure you have 0 and negative 3 going all the way down, negative 1, 5s, 7s, 5s. So that's right. So let's simplify this here. You get 6 plus 18, 2 plus 36, 12 plus 18, and you can just continue to simplify. Okay. And simplify that further to get our resulting matrix C. 6 plus 18, 24, 38, 30, and continue to simplify. There we go. We have a 3 by 4 matrix, which is what we should have gotten. Now let's check to make sure that we have that right using Excel. I've already set it up here. We have A, let's enter our values. A is 3, 1, 6, 2, 4, 2, and B is 2, 0, negative 1, 7, 9, negative 3, 5, and 5. Okay, and once again, if you want to multiply matrices, use this function, hit the equal sign, MULT for matrix multiplication, open parenthesis, highlight your first matrix, comma, second matrix, close parenthesis, and, oh, just 24. Yeah, what we forgot to do is you actually have to highlight all of this, and we forgot to hit Control Shift Enter. You have to make sure you do that every time, otherwise you'll just get this one value here. So highlight all of this. Once again, we have our formula already in there, so we'll just do Control Shift Return, and we get our resulting matrix C. And as you notice, all the values are the same, so we did it correctly by hand. And once again, this is how you do it with Excel. And there you go.